Good morning, everybody. Well, for me, it's morning. I always forget. Hello. um, I have to tell you guys a little story before I get started on a tip for writing your first chapters. And that is, I've got to stand up, and hopefully you guys don't get motion sickness. But show you a look out my front window if it's not blinding. Oh man, it's blinding. There's my dog. Basically, if you could see out my window, you would see that there's about a foot and a half of snow that came to us overnight. And as I was watching the snow fall yesterday, I was really excited because it brings back so many memories of being a kid. I loved when we had big snow days, although my kids didn't get out of school today. But just knowing that all of that snow was going to be there to dig in and play in, and we'd make snow caves on our hill, and just it was just so much fun, and it was so exciting to see it and to even tromping through it. I remember loving the sound of it crunching under my boots and watching it poof and just falling over and having it not hurt when you hit the ground because the snow cradled you. And it's just exciting to me, guys. I love it. The not so exciting part is coming after this, when I have to leave my house. Now that I'm an adult, I have to drive, and I'm not super excited about that because I know that the roads are going to be slick and some people are better drivers than others and that kind of thing. Now, I'm telling you guys this story because it actually does relate to my tip for writing your first opening chapter, okay? And that tip is that you want to create something familiar for your readers. For me, seeing that snow brings back all of those memories, the nostalgia. It's a familiar feeling from my childhood that gets me excited. Now, in your first chapter, after you've kind of established familiarity, you want to add in the twist. That twist is either going to be that things are going bad, or that things are not all that they appear to be, or that things are going to be going really, really good. And that was my snow story twist, is I'm all excited about the snow, but now I have to go adult in it. And so you have those feelings. Even that mood change needs to be in your first chapter. For me, the mood change was excited, happy, positive to negative, driving, okay? Another great example is the movie Stranger Than Fiction. If you guys haven't seen it, I really think you should go watch it. It's not like as funny as you think. It has Will Ferrell in it, but the whole story is about a man whose life is being narrated by an author. And this author doesn't realize that the books she's writing are controlling her characters' lives and that her characters are real people. And so the opening scene, it sounds kind of boring, but they really establish familiarity, that this guy is an IRS auditing guy. And every morning he brushes his teeth exactly 300 times or whatever it is, takes 26 steps to the bathroom, and goes through like his whole routine. And then she says, what he didn't know is that he was about to die. And he stops brushing his teeth and he's like, what? No! Okay, so they've gone through this ordinary routine and then they throw a twist. And I realized today that the twist is even bigger than what I first realized, because he apparently can hear her narrating his life, but he didn't react to it, which means that he has heard her voice talking to him his entire life. So his normal is hearing somebody narrate. Having his narrator suddenly tell him he's going to die was out of the normal for him. And because they don't come out and say that, we as the audience members, our normal is having a narrator voice in our head. When we read a book, we often don't give characters the same voices, including the narrator. And so having him go, what? No! For us breaks the barrier. And for the reader, that's the twist. Like, oh, our character can hear the narrator. How fun is that? And all of that happens in the first chapter. Another book that I read, like just a few pages in the first chapter of this book. So the blurb is going to be your introduction. Your readers are going to know kind of what the book's about and kind of what the big battle is. And so this book was about childhood cancer. So in their first chapter, they set up a normal scene that people can relate to. The daughter doesn't want to get out of bed. Mom's trying to get her out of bed. She's resisting as long as she can. She finally gets up, gets out of bed, takes a shower, is rumbling in her head about, my brother probably took all the hot water and I have to go to school and blah, blah, blah. And then they have her look in the mirror and call out to her mom. And she says, Mom, my glands are really swollen. Okay, that sets up the twist. She goes through her normal to, oh, my glands are swollen. And her mom gets frustrated. Well, we took you to the doctor for the flu 3 weeks ago. We'll make another appointment, later on today. So it seems normal, but because of the blurb, that that's a little bit of a twist. And so for the reader, it creates anxiety, which is a good thing, this kind of anxiety of, is she going to be sick? Is this where the cancer gets introduced? Or is this going to be part of her normal everyday life? So that's, my mind just said, okay, that's enough, you guys. So your job, you guys, is to go back to your first chapters, whether it's your work in progress, whether it's an old work that you're like, I could do that better now, whether it's your first book. I want you to go look at your chapter 1. I want you to make sure that you have introduced your character, made it feel familiar, and then I want you to make sure that you have a twist. Okay? That's your homework for that. For more information on this, why am I talking about first chapters? Well, next month I'm giving a masterclass for the Author Boss Academy members, giving more tips on getting their first chapter really tight and structured to help them out. But because Ella loves you guys, and we do too, we want to make sure that everyone gets help, because we want authors to be the best they can be regardless of where they're at. So have a great day, everybody, and wish me luck driving in the snow. Oh, and come back next week. It's either going to be Stacy or Ella, but we'll talk to you again. Bye, everyone.